All right. I see the number 91 of Ty Majeski is one of the first cars to qualify. You need to go to tracktv.com.
Were you there for the drivers' meeting, Jim?
I was.
When Gabe Summers, as the reigning champion, points champion for the Midwest Tour, got to pull the pill or the chip out of a bag to see who's going to qualify first.
By car number, yes.
By car number. Boy, everybody was, except Ty Majeski, was thrilled to see that the 91 goes first.
Well, guess what we're going to do?
What's that?
We're going to let you stop watching the live look-in.
Okay.
And ask you to go to tracktv.com to subscribe right now. Watch live or on demand, a month long, a year long. We're going to end our live look-in now. Qualifying will take place as soon as the cars roll. We're going to end our live look-in now. Go to tracktv.com now. Okay, guess what?
We're back?
Yep. Thanks for twisting my arm all the way behind my back and around the front side, Dean. You got your wish. We're going to stay with the live looking.
Well, it's all that training I've been doing.
So we're still live. We're still hanging. We still want you to go to tracktv.com.
And Tom Majeski is still going to be the first qualifier.
So do not throw the pretzel buns at the TV because you're trying to sign up right now. We still want you to sign up to tracktv.com. But the live looking continues here with the defending Joe Shear Classic presented by Toyota champion Ty Majeski taking lap 1 of his qualifying session. Warm up here. Next time by green flag.
2-time defending champion.
3 total.
3 total, but he's won the last 2.
And we haven't had to talk about this in recent years. Weather has played a factor this weekend to get us close to it. But that track record for the super late models, 17.245 set by Chris Wimmer way back in 2012. Majeski yesterday and today ran a low 3.
That's close.
Yes. He could get there.
Record. And today it's cool enough. It's not too hot, not too greasy. The iRacing Ford coming off at turn number 4. 17.431 on lap 1.
4:31. We expect lap 2 to be quicker. That Soda Sense number 91. Let's see what this is going to be a good barometer. We'll talk about the tires. They're slightly different tires this year than they were last year. The drivers seem to think that the tires have a little bit more speed in them, and Majeski shows that by going to 17.341 on lap number 2.
For now, the track record is still a track record held by Chris Wimmer from 2012. But man, Majeski's fast in that Ford. Sponsored by Incredible Bank, iRacing, Soda Sense, and Kafka Granite. Crew chief by Toby Nittleman. Next up, Harley Jankowski, the number 95. A car that he has fielded on occasion. Actually, this car made its debut last year at Oktoberfest.
He built it. He spent last summer not racing. He was building this car, putting it together, a Toby car. The 95 machine, Harley Jankowski. But yeah, you're right. He came out for one race last year. It was Oktoberfest just down the street from his home. Harley calls Sparta, Wisconsin home.
Hebelman Brothers, Cranberries, Kurt's shop. That's his dad's auto repair shop. And Modern Disposal Systems, the sponsor of his Chevy.
A 9:21 on lap number 1, 17.921. He goes better on lap 2, a 17.762. Harley and I were talking earlier about barbecuing, because when he wasn't building this race car, he was building a smoker for a friend of his that does some catering, and it had to make it a mobile smoker. So we were talking about smoking.
Was it a race car chassis he had laying around? Was it one of Corey, his cousin's old race car chassis that he made into open the hood for the smoker, open the rear tank for the gas grill? I don't know.
Could be.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the favorites in this area lives in Verona from Daytona Beach, Florida, in the 119 Gildan Activewear. First Business Bank, Toyota, it is Dalton Zier.
Had problems in practice yesterday. The first practice session, and broke a lower ball joint.
Right front lower ball joint as soon as he got the top gear.
Wasn't even up to speed.
Yeah.
And he said, good thing I wasn't all the way up to speed, because it could have caused some real damage. As it was, he was able to whoa it, stop it, get hauled off the track, get towed off the track, put the crew to work. The crew was okay going to work because the car wasn't super hot yet, because he hadn't run any laps.
And to Dalton's credit, he told me this morning, I'm changing the right front lower as well.
Yep.
It was a left front lower that collapsed. But Matt, that tells you how critical this track is in terms of how much punishment these cars can take with these speeds they have now in this half mile.
A 7:17 on lap number 1. 7:17. A 3:41 is the pole speed by Ty Majeski. Dalton Zier. Ooh, a little bit slower, 17.471. Mark Martin's here. Mark Martin said earlier, Dalton Zira is his guy. We're going to talk about that because they knew each other from Daytona.
I was hanging out with those guys talking to Matt, and they had a great visit as well. Dalton and his dad and Mark, and Dalton's little boy Maverick. That was a really cool thing to have them spend time together as they spent time in Daytona Beach together. That's all I can tell you right now because Dean wants to tease it for later.
Well, Martin's number when he ran up here was the number 2.
Yep.
We got Michael Bilderbach on track now in his Crazy Times Pub and Grill number 2 machine. He's a new track record holder at Dell's Raceway Park after last week. 3rd overall in practice yesterday. Watch for this 2 machine to be quick here today.
He was fast this morning in the 2 20-minute practice sessions. This car is going to be a factor, and look at that, up to second already. Michael Bilderbach.
4:57 on lap number 1.
Yep. Here we go. Could this be a track record?
He has had fast cars. He's just got to get a good finish.
Oh, he goes to the top of the board, but fellas, he does not set a new track record.
But that's the first car in the 2s in a long time. A 294 for Michael Bilderbach. And the Bilderbackers are going crazy.
That's the fans that support Michael, since I recall seeing him racing his Bando. I mean, that's a lot of great people supporting him out of the Rockford, Illinois area. Next up on track, a driver who's won the Kowicki Cup. He's won the Slinger Nationals. He's also won a Midwest Tour race at his home track, Slinger Speedway. This is Wausau, Wisconsin's Luke Fenhouse. Fresh off his run in Friday night's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Texas.
The ICS sponsored, Crystal Finishing, Done Right Exteriors number 4. Luke had fast time in this event a couple of years ago. He's a young driver that can get up on the wheel in qualifying. Has had success here a couple of years ago when the Alive for 5 series came to Madison International Speedway. I think they had double features, and he swept them.
He's won in every division he's raced here, but not in a tour race yet.
He's finished second here in 2021 in the Joe Shear Classic to Rich Bickle, who's here as a spectator.
Fenhouse is 3rd on the board, a 17.449.
Next up, next driver to take a crack at it. I'm going to keep my eyeballs on this driver out of Stoughton, Wisconsin, the number 5, Edgerton, I believe. It is Casey Johnson. Former Midwest Tour champion Casey Johnson has a ton of fans here in the Hogan Farms number 5. Hogan Farms is literally neighboring properties away. The Hogan brothers have a lot of interest in what Casey does and the racing in this area.
A 3-time Tour champion, but also a champion of this event. Won the Joe Shear Classic back in 2022. Casey Johnson on the clock. His first lap will be a 17.522. A 522 slots him 5th of the 6 that have gone so far.
Brand new car for Johnson this year. First time it's been on the Speedway.
The Reed chassis, they actually had some issues yesterday. The left front brake, he thought maybe a bolt backed out. They had to chase parts down. Thank you, Dan Lensing. He said, make sure you thank Dan at Left-Handed Performance. They went down and got the parts. So the bus left at 2:45, came back with all the left front brake components from Left-Handed Performance at 4 o'clock.
Casey Johnson will be slotted in for the time being in the 3rd position. And another black number 5 rolls trackside. Jim, that font on that 5 looks really familiar.
That's the Sauter name, the Sauter number, and this is the 5th driver to race in the ASA Midwest Tour named Sauter. This is Penn Sauter, the young teenager, son of Johnny. And Johnny is all about this race car. T-Sport is Thor Sport Racing. They're very much involved in Penn's car this year. This T-Sport Ford now making its first laps at Madison in a super late for Penn Sauter in the ASA Midwest Tour.
Lap number 1, a 17.690. They dropped the car yesterday, last practice session, dropped it off the jack, tore the rocker panel off on the left side. I asked Penn today, I said, were you responsible for that? He said, thank God no, because I would have got yelled at. I didn't do it.
Dad Johnny put brand new brake pads and rotors on the front left and front right last night before they turned away, and Penn wasn't here to help him because Penn went to prom last night.
17.506 for Penn, position number 6. And here's a guy, another driver, who knows the fast way around Madison International Speedway. He is a former fast qualifier for this event. Picked up his first career fast qualifier award a few years back at Madison International Speedway for the Joe Shear Classic. This is John DeAngelis Jr., Johnny D.
Soper Companies, Ally, Health Team Chevrolet, DeAngelis Construction on the rear quarter panel. Got That's his family business. He's got 5 Peterbilts, he was telling Mark Martin, as Mark was just ogling at his race hauler.
He's got those, they're stretched out, too.
Oh, yeah. They're beautiful.
They're stretched out, and the front bumpers hang about an inch and a half off the ground.
Showpieces, no question.
They are nice.
Johnny D doesn't have the best qualifying run, but man, his car's going to be good in the race. 17.580, 17.580 for DeAngelis in the 7D.
I think we got 4 of a kind.
We have black 7s.
We got 7
4 black 7s.
No, one of them's white.
Okay, 3 black 7s and a white one. This is one of the black ones.
I'll see your 3 black 7s and raise you a white number 7.
Out of West Bend, Wisconsin, in the Progress Manufacturing, Reed Racing Enterprises, Forte Bank, Cousins Subs, Bonafide Security Solutions, Chevrolet. It's Mitch Haver. Good to see Mitch back in the ASA Midwest Tour ranks out of West Bend, Wisconsin.
Yeah, he's going to be running for Rookie of the Year here in 2025. Made a start with us last year at Jefferson Speedway. Short little bull ring. He made it 4 laps, and then we had the big one.
We talked to him a little bit about that this afternoon, this morning, too, and he said that, I'm really excited to be on tour full-time, but I can't wait to get back to Jefferson. I felt like we had a car that could have competed there, and we just didn't get very far.
Yeah, he had some unfinished business to do indeed. He's 8th in time here, a 17.601. We should say we're going to take the top 20 in qualifying here. We'll automatically advance to the Joe Shear Classic 200. The rest will have to go through a last chance race.
Qualifying position race.
Qualifying position race. Here's the white 7.
There's a black 7 on the door again. Paulie Schaefer. Good to see Paulie back here in the Dynamic Metal Recycling Chevrolet.
If you can believe this, I spent some time with crew chief Chris Purdy and Paulie today. I said, can I come up? They were in the trailer. I said, can I come up? He said, absolutely. Come on. Can you believe this? Paulie was smiling.
Yes. He's got a smile on his face most often. Even when the car was shutting off yesterday in practice. They replaced the clutch and the transmission in this number 7.
Yeah. Chris Purdy admitted, we're on the struggle bus here today.
And this is a track Paulie's been really good at. Top 5 finish here in the Joe Shear Classic, and he's got, when this car is clicking, these guys are hard to beat, and they have had Derek Thorne with them as well the last several years.
He had fast time here 2 years ago when it was an ASA Stars National Tour event.
Yep. And now he'll settle in for 7th currently. Paulie Schaefer Jr. Ridge Owen in the other number 7 did not qualify in his position, so we'll continue on the numeric rundown. We started at 91, went through 91 down to the bottom. Now we're back up to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're back to 8. This is Billy Moan, the star at Elko Speedway, back with the ASA Midwest Tour as a full-timer. 2018, I think he was Rookie of the Year one year.
Yep. The LG Trucking, number 8, 37-year-old driver from suburban Minneapolis, Minnesota. He, speaking of Jefferson Speedway, Billy ran a handful of events with the Midwest Tour last year. One of them was at Jefferson Speedway. Absolutely destroyed the car when he got into that berm.
Yeah.
They have a land berm in the infield.
It was like a Cletus McFarland move, man. It hit and just spun the car around.
Yeah. It was it did some damage.
Yeah.
Billy Moan on lap number 1 will be 10th quick. He will improve on lap number 2. He goes quicker, 17.676, but still knocks down the 10th position.
Next up, one of the Fab 5 Underbirds in the Kawicki Driver Development Program. It's Bryce Miller out of nearby Columbus, Wisconsin, in this number 11. A family team going full-time in the ASA Midwest Tour in 2025. Sponsored by Club Lamarck on the hood. All-weather armor, Armor Guard, Floors for Less, Smoky Hollow Campground also sponsoring his Toyota.
Fans will recognize Bryce from the Midwest Truck Series. He spent the last 5 years piloting his 11 truck. Looked very similar to this and had a pretty good go of it at Oktoberfest when we saw him up there. Found his way to victory lane.
He did. And Bryce Miller is also racing in just his 4th ASA Midwest Tour race. Did a lot of changes overnight. Was not up in the speed charts, like outside the top 20 all day yesterday.
Yeah, complained of a push, and a lot of drivers complained of a push going down into turn 1. A little bit of a bump that they haven't experienced in previous years has been disrupting a lot of teams here this afternoon and yesterday. So how teams adjusted to that bump in 1 will affect qualifying in the 200 lapper today.
And I'm also talking to the drivers about a bump in 4, and we got a dip in 2. This track's got some unique, what shall we say, characters.
It's Wisconsin Winters.
Wisconsin Winters, yes. Yes. Hey, we want to, you know who's not watching from Wisconsin? Richard Garber's watching poolside from Southwest Florida.
Ooh, sounds nice.
I know it does. Welcome, Richard.
Hope you're an Austin Nason fan. He's on the screen right now. We're talking over Richard's favorite driver all of a sudden here. Continue, Dean.
It's the car corner. Nason Landscape Supply, number 14. Nason Landscaping, I should say, number 14.
Austin Nason up to 7th, 17.537, 17.537.
Tom Goder, Rockford, Illinois. He's rooting for Austin Nason. Tom, thanks for watching.
Tom, you got a good choice there. I think Austin's a winner here.
Former winner here in this event.
Yep. Joe Shear Classic for certain is going to be a tough competitor. Races full-time on the ASA Stars. 5th in points the last 2 years there.
Lisa Matri. Oh, gosh, Jim, I need some help on this one.
Lisa. Hi, Lisa.
Lisa, let's go racing, she says.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's go racing.
Cody King wants to go racing. Good to see this young driver back. The number 14 Clear Lake, Iowa driver. The Coltman Farms Racing Cornelia Fireworks MPM Marketing Chevrolet.
And we talked to Cody last year about their intentions with the series and why they pulled back. And Joe Wood was real honest with us about that. Cody he just lost a little bit of confidence, and it is so important to have that confidence in racing to be successful. So they peeled back. They did some racing to get Cody his confidence. When we saw him at Oktoberfest,
they went to the Dells in race Life for 5 series.
Did very well there. And then when we saw him at Oktoberfest, it was a completely different animal. You know, he won the last chance qualifier there, ran himself into the top 10, had a really good race. And Cody King is very optimistic about his chances for Rookie of the Year this year.
Up to 7th for the young driver out of Iowa in the 14K, 17.504, 17.504 for Cody King.
Here's one that the locals will know. This is Will Reese from just down the road in Utica, Wisconsin, making his super late model debut. He runs with us regularly in a late model. He told me yesterday, if it's not too terrible, I'll go to Jefferson.
Hogan Farms is a sponsor on this car. I know they've been very much involved in his late model efforts. Great to see him making his debut. You know, I think the only driver that has not had a prior start in the ASA Midwest Tour racing with us today.
Now this is truly his first go in a super late. He's got Zach Riddle, the 6-time track champion here at Madison, helping him on the wrenches today. But Zach admittedly too, it's a super late. I'm a late model guy.
and Reese Will was 13th on lap number 1. He'll bump up to 12th quick. Goes to 17.651. Jim, we have got 4 former Midwest Tour champions here in the Joe Shear Classic. Gabe Summers on track right now. We have a poll, a Facebook poll.
On Facebook only, yes.
Facebook only. Which ASA Midwest Tour past champion is going to win the Joe Shear Classic in your opinion? Gabe Summers, Ty Majeski, Dalton Zier, or Andrew Morrissey?
Ooh.
Go and vote for that. That is a great question.
I'll tell you my pick after qualifying.
Well, that's also probably going to be 4 of the top 7 finishers in the race, the way this practice session went yesterday.
Summers goes 3rd quick on lap number 1.
That's the fastest first lap that anybody's run. Talked to him. He took a brand new package down to New Smyrna to the World Series this past December, January, and they brought it here this weekend. Gabe Summers.
He doesn't improve much on lap number 2, fellas.
He got to a 17.3, but he's going to sit there in 3rd, 380.
Yep. Goes to 380. Here's the 17 machine. Again, go to the Facebook poll and let your opinions be heard there. Facebook only. Go there. Which ASA Midwest Tour past champion do you think is going to win today's Joe Shear Classic? Here's a guy in the form of Max Kaler who broke through with that first series win towards the end of last year and did it in a big way in the Jim Shawter Classic at Dells Raceway Park.
Cashed in with lap-led money and $15,000 on a big check at the end of that one. Good to see Max back in the series out of Caledonia, Illinois, and the retool of Rockford. Kunis Auto Group, Gillies Heating, Air Conditioning, Ford, and I don't think there's room on that car for any other sponsors. He's done a nice job getting people around and surrounding his efforts.
We go back to a year ago, the Howie Letto race. The 119 and the 5J of Zier and Johnson were the headliners, but that was the 3rd car in the mix. And Max Kaler, he could play a factor this afternoon.
Max Kaler trying to qualify his way in, finished 16th unofficially in last year's Joe Shear Classic. But yeah, he's had speed just about everywhere he goes. And this is the new look, new style for 21-year-old Levon Vandergeest.
I love that gold on that car. It shines.
It's really gold, not on very many race cars.
He told me it's a throwback to his Bandolero days, and he won a bunch of races in bandos.
Levon Vandergeest in the Zillich Repair, Breber Music, Custom Meats, Central Sawdust of Wisconsin. Chevrolet number 23 has one more week of school left. at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee before final exams. So I said, did you bring the car here? Are you going to drive straight to school after you leave? It's about an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes. And he put his head down and he said, I didn't think of that. No, I have to go back to Merrill and get my car and then drive back to school.
He was happy with the non-changes they made yesterday. They didn't do a lot of big swings in that number 23 team. Their fourth full-time season now in the Midwest Truck Series.
10th on the speed charts, a 17.511, 17.511 for Levon.
Fifth full-time season starting already. Wow.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Got 40 starts in the series already. Looking for his first win. So is Jeff Storm in the number 25. Stormy in the Benson Valley Bourbon, number 25, out of East Troy, now Waterford, Wisconsin. Duramax Trucking also sponsoring his efforts. Stormy was fast right out of the box yesterday. He was pretty happy, saying, they're chasing my car right now. Did some changes. Got this car ready.
And Jeff admittedly has had problems qualifying the last couple of years. And it's a real head scratcher because Jeff knows where the loud pedal is and how to get up on that steering wheel. And he has just struggled in qualifying. He can't really explain it. Lap number 1, he's 16th quick, a 17.657. And Stormy will improve all the way up to 11th, the 17.549 as our 20th driver takes to the track right now. And remember, we're going to take the top 20. We're going to lock those into the Joe Shear Classic 200 presented by Toyota. Here's our 20th qualifier, the number 30 machine of Joe Valento.
Under the watch line, preparation of Travis Dassau out of Scandia, Minnesota, and the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, Nitro Lubricants, Crust Buster, Napa, Race Face Digital Chevrolet. Valento spent some time racing in North Carolina after racing in the Midwest Truck Series. It was a surprise move, I thought, back in the day. Took a few years off, and now he's back for the second straight season, the ASA Midwest Tour. The 20-year-old on the track in that Reed chassis. This car is new to these guys. They actually sold their car from last year to Jeff Storm, who just qualified, the number 25. Did a lot of work on that car in the offseason.
His car owner, crew chief Travis Dassau, been very busy in the offseason as well.
If you heard the name, you
purchased himself a racetrack.
Yeah. He and his wife Kelsey bought Slinger Super Speedway from Todd and Elizabeth Thielen. They just held their first race end of last month.
Joe Valento will go a 17.890, 20th quick, so on the bubble. And here comes the guy who set the top mark in qualifying 1 year ago as a then 15-year-old.
No pressure.
Now he's the ripe old age of 16, Ty Fredrickson.
Ty ended up winning the Kawicki Cup last year of 7 drivers in the running. Big check, big opportunity. And he also won the ASA Midwest Tour Rookie of the Year, the number 36 MFR Toyota. Herman's Landscape on that car as well. 15th fast for the car that had a rocker arm issue yesterday. He was faster in practice by a long shot, but that rocker arm, they broke it yesterday late in practice and had to fix it, and we're kind of searching things through to see if there was any other engine damage in this number 36.
Yeah, and I thought he looked a little loose, a little free on that 36 car exiting the corner, and he's going to improve up to 8th, but Ty Fredrickson a 17.488 on lap number 2.
Black 7.
Here's
Ridge Owen.
Black 7.
Ridge Owen, Black 7.
Let's see if he can break up the sevens. They're all 3 of them together.
They are, aren't they?
13th, 14th, and 15th.
Made his debut here in the Joe Shear Classic 1 year ago. Finished 22nd. He also raced with us at Elko Speedway in Oktoberfest. This will be his 4th start in the Midwest Tour.
Ridge's Tree Service, Don and Wayne Excavating, Northern Racing Products, driver from Bloomington, Minnesota.
Home of the Mall of America.
Yep.
Which was the Humpy Dome. The Hubert H. Humphrey?
Hubert H.
Yep.
There you go. He can't. Looks like we didn't get. Scoring didn't pick up the second lap.
He was late out of order, so they did take a lap away from him.
18.305 on his only lap.
Facebook poll has this driver on it. Former ASA Midwest Tour champion. Is he going to be the winner of the Joe Shear Classic? Of the choices.
They were good out of the box yesterday, too. Ran a 4 the very first lap off the truck. So
he could drive this race car with a half a gallon of gas in it from his shop. He took it home last night, as a matter of fact, to work through a few more things in this David McCardle number 39.
Yeah, Andrew Morrissey built this car, and he knows every nut and bolt. He knows this car, since it rolled out of the shop for the first time, has been fast everywhere he's gone.
His worst finish is 3rd.
Finished 2nd in all 3 of the ASA Midwest Tour races a year ago in a part-time run.
Fourth quick on lap number 1 for Morrissey, a 383, 17.383. Fellas, this could be it. This could be our new track record. Nope.
Faster. 17.375, but not fast enough.
Moves up to third.
That's going to be a strong car to beat.
With that 375, yes. I agree.
Perennial favorite when it comes to race fans and engagement. Justin Mondyke out of Gleason, Wisconsin is our next qualifier. The number 44, River Cities Engineering, Kimmons Roofing, Wenzel's Farm, A&A Lock, Nicolay National Bank Chevrolet.
He didn't do anything in the offseason, did he? Got married, has a new job, project engineer. I said, what are you engineering? He said, bridges and dams.
Wow.
Kind of a big deal. Yeah, won a couple of races on the ASA Midwest Tour 1 year ago. He's kind of the Iron Man of the ASA Midwest Tour. 74 consecutive tour starts for Justin Mondyke.
It's one of the teams that did not put on new tires yesterday. They elected to practice on old tires all day. They only have the couple of handful of laps on new tires, so was not in qualifying trim at all.
17th, and that may be the result of it, putting on new shoes for the first time here today in qualifying. 17.610 for Justin Mondyke.
Here's a new ride. A veteran driver with a new ride on that 47 machine. Jacob Gady, 40-year-old from Carver, Minnesota, takes over behind the wheel here of this Dennis Chase Motorsports entry.
Splash of red and black on the side of what has been primarily a blue car that Casey Johnson will drive this year. This driver also will be driven by, I believe, Ty Majeski and Riley Stengen when it comes to the Red, White, Blue Shade State Championship Series.
Valley Gasket, Hogan Farms, 47 machine will be 16th after lap number 1. A 17.597, a 597 for Jacob Gady. 10-time Elko Speedway track champion.
And the NASCAR National Series champion as well.
He'll improve up to 9th. Jacob Gady at 17.483. Will Reese is on the bubble. We should keep you posted on that. Reese is on the bubble. Billy Moan, Bryce Miller, Harley Jankowski, Joe Valento, and Ridge Owen have been bumped. They'll have to run the last chance positioning race as the number of cars here are dwindling. This is Joe Scholze in the 58, the Chosen Valley Farm entry. Holman, Wisconsin.
An issue yesterday in practice was the car just shut off on him on the racetrack, and he pushed it back, and I talked to him in between the fixes, and he said, we don't exactly know what we have yet, but got to get it right for tomorrow. This will be his 19th Midwest Tour start for the driver at Holman, Wisconsin.
Needs to find a little speed here on lap number 2 and 18.250 on lap number 1.
They completely rebuilt this car this winter. I talked to Joe yesterday. Since Oktoberfest, we saw him getting a little bit of a fender bender up there. Completely rebuilt this car. He's excited about their chances for the super late stuff this year. Admits, I'm more of a late model guy because we get chances to run those more often than supers, but I just like to go fast, and I'm going to run the super as much as possible.
He goes faster, 17.813 on lap number 2, but 24th, so he will not crack the top 20. Here's a guy from just down the road, knows the Madison International Speedway well. This is Riley Stengen.
In the screaming Norwegian Howes Contractors, Hogan Farms, Finish Line Towing, Direct Network Chevrolet. This car was on jack stands when practice started yesterday and was out there for about another hour and a half. They actually could not get the car engaged in gear when he went out to practice. He ended up changing the clutch, transmission, the whole shebang, dropped the drive shaft. They went to work on this car to get it right, and Riley got right back out there. I think it was 7th quick in his first time in the car after several sessions went on without him.
Yeah, they ended up 5th in the practice today, so it's a good thing that the shop is just a few minutes down the road, able to get that thing patched up and ready to go for this weekend. He's been very strong in the ASA Midwest Tour races here.
And in this car, he split the season last year with the number 47 Chase Motorsports and his number 77. He'll be doing some of that, but when it comes to tour racing, he'll try to do as many as he can in that family team that's run by his dad, his uncle, and now a new buddy that's a diesel mechanic coming on that they went hunting with in the fall and said, hey, we ought to come out and help us out. It was a big help yesterday.
Riley Stengen clocks in 14th quick. That'll bump Will Reese, put Max Kaler on the bubble. Winding down here in qualifying, just a couple of drivers to go. One of them on track right now from Big Bend, Wisconsin. It's the Adams Towing number 80 machine of Ryan Farrell.
Farrell can put down a lap down on a given occasion. He and Justin Kane were working a lot on the left rear geometry late in practice yesterday.
And he's 9th after lap number 1.
That's a good first lap.
Yeah, he was second quick in practice today.
That bumps Max Kaler, puts Justin Mondyke on the bubble. What does Farrell have here on lap number 2? It is quicker. Ryan Farrell goes up to 8th, 17.461.
Top 20 locked in. Justin Mondyke is on that bubble.
I think this is our last qualifier, Jim.
The man who set the world on fire last year, Brent Edmonds, finished 3rd in this race a year ago. I was like, man, where did he come from? He was fast all afternoon last year.
That was really... it's good to see Brent Edmonds, local racer here at Madison International Speedway.
Yeah. Got a lot of laps with us on Friday nights.
In a late model, bumps it up to the super late model. Ran a handful of races with us last year on the tour. And as Jim said, a 3rd place finish in this event 1 year ago.
He told me yesterday if he can squeeze it in between muskie fishing, he'll try to get as much Midwest Tour competition in this year as he can.
Serious outdoorsman, no question. Try to fit in racing around fishing.
20 seconds on lap number 1. Justin Mondyke hangs on by the hair on his chinny chin. Lap number 2. Edmonds will not make the cut. A 17.631 for a final qualifier, so he'll stay 22nd. If he's going to repeat with a podium finish here today, Brent Edmonds has some work to do.
Just a tick over 0.3 of a second. 1st to 20th in qualifying. Michael Bilderback, 17.294. Very impressive. Ty Majeski, 2nd fastest. There will be an inversion. So the fastest qualifier, Michael Bilderback, congratulations for winning the pole. I'm sorry, for winning fast time. He will draw a die. And 9 plus the dice roll in our previous ceremonies will determine the invert of our starting field for the Joe Shear Classic.
That's going to be a big invert
by Toyota. Yeah.
Hey, you have been voting, Jim.
I have not been voting, but who has been voting, Dean? I've been talking.
Well, let's see. We asked you which ASA Midwest Tour past champion is going to win the Joe Shear Classic. The choices were Gabe Summers, Ty Majeski, Dalton Zier, and Drew Morrissey. And to the surprise of some people, Ty Majeski is leading. 62% of the poll.
So we can still vote on this? It's not a done poll?
Andrew Morrissey, 19%. Gabe Summers, 14%. And then Dalton Zier. Boy, I would take Dalton Zier. If I were a betting man and you gave me those kind of odds, only 5% chance that he was going to win, I'll take that.
And consider this, as tight as qualifying was, Dalton Zier qualified 9th, 17.471. He's going to start ahead of these other fast guys.
Yeah.
In the invert. I mean, he's going to have a really good shot at leading some laps here. It's 9 plus the invert, heading towards today's season opener for the ASA Midwest Tour, the Joe Shear Classic, presented by Toyota. Here's our schedule. 12:45. We've gotten the qualifying underway for both the Midwest Truck Series and the ASA Midwest Tour. Opening ceremonies here in about 15 minutes or so, and the Wisconsin Marching Band has officially arrived. Great to see them marching through the stands, and the fans are excited. They've got a chance to take a little bit of a respite here between qualifying and our opening ceremonies. We're going to step away for a moment here with our coverage and come right back to Madison International Speedway on Track TV. Enjoy the live looking. It's going to end soon. Go to tracktv.com and subscribe right now.
Better than a bootlegger. Way better than a bootlegger. Pretty good. Very blueberry. Highly recommend this to anybody out there. It's pretty good. 10 out of 10 right there.
I think it's delicious. I had the peach, I had the grape at Five Flags. Trying the pina colada right now. Feels like I'm on the beach somewhere.
Why not give your grill the deep clean it deserves? The CitraSafe Grill Cleaner Complete Bucket Kit has everything you need to get your grill spotless, inside and out. Powered by natural citrus, CitraSafe cuts through the toughest grease and grime safely and easily. No harsh chemicals, no hassle. Recipes taste better on a clean grill.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go here, surf's up, here, woo, and here.
right now, lease a new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for $309 a month. Or get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra.
Your summer starts here and just keeps on going.
Toyota, let's go places.
Fire Suppression Solutions, proud sponsor of the ASA Stars National Tour.
Five-star bodies, the most advanced bodies on the market, aerodynamically engineered, manufactured from the highest grade and lightest weight materials, tested tough for optimum performance. The highest quality and most durable products you'll find anywhere. Our products help racers around the world reach victory lane. Winning never looked so good. Faster, lighter, stronger, better. 5-star.
Welcome back to our coverage of Madison International Speedway, the big season opener. It is the capital of Wisconsin, and this is the Wisconsin Marching Band marching through the stands. University of Wisconsin in the capital city.
Yeah, that Wisconsin Marching Band, the University of.
Yes. It's wonderful to have them here. And we also know that the alumni love playing for events like this, but we got the band wearing the red shirts and the black shorts on a nice day.
Not all like 250 members, but.
Something special about this band, though.
It is, though. They really do. They get the crowd going at Camp Randall. People at Camp Randall stick around after a 3-hour football game just to watch the band perform the fifth quarter.
It's called the fifth quarter for a reason because it is a good show.
Yep,
it's a great
really
performance, and they are probably ranked nationally each and every year for their formations and the enthusiasm. At the end of the third quarter, the jump around. Man, it's a lot of fun. A great tradition if you ever get a chance to visit the Badger State and head to a Badger game at home at Camp Randall Stadium on a Saturday.
We should say that we are at Madison International Speedway, actually in the town of Rutland outside of Oregon, Wisconsin. So we're about, 15, 20 minutes from Camp Randall Stadium, east of Camp Randall. To give you, if you are up to speed on your Wisconsin geography.
And this racetrack used to be called Capital Super Speedway for that reason.
This racetrack also used to be dirt.
I was here. Impact Speedway.
Yep.
They covered it with dirt, kept the asphalt, and as Matt Vadi pointed out, they repaved it in 1992. So it has some character, has some new asphalt in places, has weathered the storm of these harsh Wisconsin winters. Oh, yeah. Horns moving.
They race here Friday nights. Friday nights is their weekly show here at Madison International Speedway, and the McCarnes family just does such a great job.
They've got some great things cooking.
Yep.
MISRacing.com is the website. They've got the ARCA Menard Series is coming here. They always have a really good show when it's called the Howie Lettle Memorial. That's the second ASA Midwest Tour Point show on a Friday night.
That's the only track. This is the only track that the tour comes to twice.
Yeah. Deservedly so. This track is going to put on a great show this afternoon. And the Howie Lettle Classic is only a 100-lapper, and that really intensifies what goes on at this track. Today's race is a 200-lap contest in the name of Joe Shear. It's one of the longer races on the biggest track that the series will run on this year, with the one exception. I think Kaukauna is a little bit bigger at 5/8 of a mile.
Yeah, and that's a little bit longer in distance, too. 250 laps for the Gandard Auto Group 250.
While we have the band in the stands, let's introduce you to some of the young drivers chasing the ASA Midwest Tour Rookie of the Year standings in 2025.
I I'm Cody King from Clear Lake, Iowa, and I'm the driver of the number 14 Coltman Farms Racing ASA Super Late Model.
Hi, I'm Penn Sauter from Forest, Wisconsin. I drive the number 5 Super Late Model.
Hi, I'm Bryce Miller from Columbus, Wisconsin, driver of the Quickie Driver Development Super Late and the ASA Midwest Tour.
I'm Mitch Haver from West Bend, Wisconsin, driver of the number 7 ASA Super Late Model.
Those are the young drivers aspiring to race for Rookie of the Year, varying in age up to the age 25 for Bryce Miller. They're all chasing a big trophy. It's a beautiful trophy. Weir's Machine has, once again, out of billet machinery, and it's a wonderful piece with a model car of one of Joe Shear race cars that Freddie Nielsen owned as the model this year. Our thoughts with the Nielsen family as Fred Nielsen, a longtime owner of Joe Shear's equipment, passed away this past Saturday. They're all chasing this one. The trophy's there. The name on the list is pretty impressive. For Dan Fredrickson to win the first one, he's here with his son Ty today. But, Dean, this is really something special that the who's who of short track racing up in this area be on the back of the T-shirt and be on our screens right now.
We're going to get to see that trophy a little bit later on after about 200 hard-fought laps. And I agree with you. Weir's Machine, Chad Weirs, and the whole gang over there have outdone themselves. The car that is on there, the Joe Shear Diecast 124th car that's on there, is the Black 36, which went to victory lane here in 2021 with Rich Bickle behind the wheel. Bickle scrapped the 45 for one race, scrapped the white car for one race, made it a Black 36 in honor of Joe Shear, and went to victory lane in 2021. That was a cool event. We were here. In fact, that was our first race on Track TV.
Wow. It's still on Track TV. You can go back and watch it. Every race we have is archived there.
If you're a subscriber.
Right. You have to be on Track TV and subscribe, but you can go back and watch that racing. Watch every other Joe Shear Classic since then. And the names on there, Carlson, Haslai, Kenseth, Morrissey, Sauter. Travis Sauter's here as a crew chief for Gabe Summers. It's really cool to see.
Johnny Sauter's here.
Yep.
And he's not crew chiefing for his son Penn, and he's not spotting for his son Penn.
What's he doing here then?
He's being a dad.
I doubt that highly.
That's what he told me.
Yep. He was working on that car by himself last night as I walked by. I'm like, hey, Johnny, what can I help watch you do? He's doing the front brakes by himself with some help from some really good friends.
Just a great crowd here at Madison International Speedway.
Sun splashed.
Oh, my goodness. We are spoiled here in the upper Midwest to have facilities like Madison International Speedway, and these fans get treated to some spectacular racing. Mark Martin is here.
Yes.
Signing autographs for the fans. He's the Grand Marshal of the event. He's gonna give the command and do all those Grand Marshal things. He's been here all weekend, visiting with some old friends. Of course, Mark Martin came here to the Midwest, came here to Madison International Speedway as a youngster, as a teenager, to learn how to race.
Graduated high school in 1977. Moved to Wisconsin. He actually went back and forth from Batesville, Arkansas to race here for a whole summer. The next year he moved to Indiana, so he was closer to the action and won the ASA National Championship in 1978, 79, and 80. Those three championships propelled him into NASCAR opportunities.
Think how quick of a learner, and hopefully we get Mark up here and get to ask him this, but 77 was his first year of pavement racing. He did some dirt track racing in Arkansas, but 77 was his first year of pavement racing, and in 78 he's winning a national championship with the ASA banner against Joe Shear and Dick Trickle and Tom Ruffner and Richie Bickle and all the heavy hitters.
Yeah, we mentioned Dave Watson's here with him, and Dave won the 77 ASA championship, and Mark credits him. He said, hey man, if there's anybody I learned from, it was Dave Watson. And Dave and Mark are great friends to this day. And as a matter of fact, when Mark started his own podcast going year by year through his racing, because his memory is incredible, his first guest was Dave Watson. It wasn't somebody from NASCAR. It was Dave Watson as his first guest on this multi-show podcast that Mark produced. It was really cool to know that respect is there, the regard is there, racing clean is there. Mark's not the one that's going to rub you to pass you, and Mark does not believe in that way. And he said it was respect earned and developed here in Wisconsin in the upper Midwest racing with the ASA guys.
Dave Watson and Mark Martin talked about that yesterday. And
it's on the Facebook page of the series, right?
Yes,
Midwest Tour Facebook page?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And I'm great. I'm glad that Kevin Ramsel followed up on the question or on the statement, because there was that respect that you talked about, Jim. And they said, well, Dave, was there a talking to? Was there a moment? Was there a... Dave said, nope. He came in, Mark came in, raced everybody clean. We raced him clean, and it was just this understanding from here on out. This is how we race here in the Midwest.
And part of it is they were racing to survive. Dick Trickle raced full time. A lot of these guys had day jobs, or they would take a week off or two if they went every night of the week. Some of these guys literally would haul their car to their workplace and then race that night on a weeknight and go back to work the next morning with very little sleep. But you didn't want to repair your race car. And if you tore somebody else's up, you know how much it would cost them in time and money to get back to the groove of racing as much as 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week.
Yeah, if you're racing 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week, that doesn't leave a lot of time to make repairs to the car. So you had to take care of it, and you had to take care of everybody else's stuff as well.
Yeah, and the speed and the technology. I mean, the evolution of what Mark went through, and you can read about it in Mark's book. Mark's got another book coming out, actually. He said he's close to finishing, detailing his short track racing, which a lot of pictures will be showing up from Madison International Speedway and his racing successes here in Wisconsin. 5-time winner here, Mark Martin, at this track.
5-time winner here at Madison, but he also had a helicopter ride out of here, too. One of the worst accidents that he ever had as a short track racer happened right here at Madison International Speedway. Broke his legs, and he was in pretty rough shape.
Yeah, we have some photos, actually. We're teasing you on that as well. We're going to show those if and when we get Mark in the booth of the post-event Victory Lane celebration he had while still wearing casts in a wheelchair. He said, I was 18. I had to go racing full time. That was my income. Track preparation continues. Qualifying has concluded. Pre-race ceremonies about forming up. We know the Wisconsin Marching Band is still performing in the fan midway as well. Pretty cool to see this quarter mile called the Ring of Fire inside the infield, available to racers on Friday nights, and as well as the big half mile, Wisconsin's fastest half mile. It's part of the late model, super late model program. They've got a class you can run a 602 engine. It doesn't matter if you have a modified, outlaw late model, Midwest truck. You can race them in the same time in the same class here called the Misfits. It's a pretty popular class that's gaining some traction at other tracks in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Greg McCarnes figured, you know what? Why should we have all these different divisions with maybe 7, 8 cars? Let's put them all into one.
Mm-hmm.
Have a bunch of cars, bunch of vehicles, bunch of trucks out there. And it's really pretty cool. They look different. Obviously, a modified looks different than a truck. You have a limited late model out there. You might have a sportsman out there, all racing at the same time. They call it the Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
A takeoff on MIS, Madison International Speedway. Popular class, good to see. Again, if you're in the area on a Friday night, I think up through Labor Day, you be sure to check this out because it is it's a dandy indeed.
Fans are filing in. The race teams are going to pit in the infield in front of the fans. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, so the pit stops are going to be, as you said, happen in the infield on the quarter-mile track, controlled pit stops. They will give the teams an opportunity to pit under caution and
yeah, the pit stops need to be important. The 2 tires, when to change them.
Yep. Going to have to add fuel.
Yes.
Not going to make 200 laps at this half mile without bidding for fuel.
And it's the first time these teams are using the Hoosier ST1 stars on the left side and ST2 stars on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, a lot of the teams elected to go on longer runs on used tires to outset. Some of them did mock runs. Some of them did not do mock runs, as we talked with Matt Votty during qualifying. Justin Mondyke, one of those saying, hey, I just want to see how these tires feel. What I did know and learn from Dalton Zier on those tires, he said there's so much grip. That's another reason why he went to the ball. He changed the right front lower ball joint. He's like, I don't know if the left front was going to give up, but I'm sure the right front's going to be taxed. Can't afford it. Can't afford not to.
They're faster. Dalton told me they're faster because you can pick up the throttle quicker in the corner, in the middle of the corner. You can pick the throttle quicker on both ends of the track than you used to be able to with the other tires.
Yeah, the speed is, and that compounds to the load. that compounds to everything being stressed a little bit longer under grass. So, yeah, it's interesting how this is going to play out. And passing will be a premium because of the speeds, man. It's going to be hard to find the differentiation with just 3/10 separating the first 20 in qualifying.
Dalton told me track position.
Mm-hmm.
Track position is always important. He thinks in this race it's going to be ultra important.
Yeah, no question. And getting a good starting spot. I mean, we talked about Michael Bilderback setting fast time. He'll start no better than 10th in the invert. We'll see what that number actually is here in a moment when they do opening ceremonies that we're getting ready for here on the racetrack.
Fans, glad you are tuning in with us on Track TV. Jim Trado, myself, Dean Strom will be joined by Matt Votty. We will bring you all the coverage of this Joe Shear Classic 200 for the ASA Midwest Tour. And the bullseye, Joe Shear Classic 36 for the Midwest Truck Series. It's going to be a great day of action. And again, we are glad that you have tuned in on Track TV. Joe Shear Classic 200 presented by Toyota.
Yeah, if you don't know much about Joe and the way he raced, he was meticulous. He was very good. He was a craftsman and a really good, clean racer that won a bunch of races. Championships, Art-Go races were really where he made his hay. He won, I think, 4 ASA National Tour races. Probably should have won 20 more of those if he really paid a lot of attention to it. It wasn't his main deal. Worked for left-hander chassis for a number of years. And really, he was, as I think I said it once, and you might have said it, Dean, in the opening piece about the benchmark. He was one of those guys you had to beat. And when he rolled in the pits in 87, 88, 89, it's he or Butch Miller would win the races around here. And when Butch wasn't in the races, it's like, okay, Shear's here. Who's running for second? When Butch was in the race, it's like, okay, those guys, we have a shot. Butch won a bunch of them. But even, I mean, from 81 through the mid-90s, when Joe Shear showed up to race, you were really kind of thinking out, okay, when's he going to put his lap down? Because he would not be the fastest guy. He would be one of those guys that would do 3 and 4, figure out 3 and 4, 3 and 4, coast into 1 and 2, never give a full lap till he wanted to really get his car dialed in. And then you're like, oh, Shear just put up a lap. Man, we can't beat this guy.
And the Shear name is still carried on in a winning tradition. Joe Shear Jr., a championship-winning crew chief on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
For both Johnny Sauter and now Ty Majeski. Yes. Yeah. Still working with Ty on a daily basis. It's really cool to have all that come to fore here. And that was so meaningful for Johnny Sauter in 2015 while racing full-time for Thorsport as Joe Shear Jr. was his crew chief. Really cool to see Connie here and Carrie Stewart Carlson are here. That's Joe's widow and daughter, and there's, I believe, another brother that came as well. So it's kind of cool that they're here still honoring Joe, as a bunch of fans are still wearing Joe Shear gear. Not just the new shirts they got from DJ and DJ Sport Shack. They're wearing stuff that was around and original in the 80s and 90s with Joe racing. Saw some Mark Martin swag, too. Yeah.
Just moments away, sorry, Jim, from our opening ceremonies. So if you're tuning in, stick with us. Once we get the opening ceremonies underway, we are going to just go bing, bang, boom. We're going to roll right along.
Guess what's left on our docket? We have an update. Breaking news.
What's that?
We are going to race a feature for the Midwest Truck Series and a feature for the ASA Midwest Tour and no other consolation races.
Ah, okay.
Might run some heat races to get some points because they award points in the Truck Series heats. But no consolation race for the Truck Series. To lock them in and lock them out. They're all going to start, which is great. Let's now go down to opening ceremonies here for the Joe Shear Classic presented by Toyota.
We thank you, the Wisconsin Fire Marshals. Thank you as well. We'll talk to our quick qualifiers here momentarily as part of our Joe Shear Classic presented by Toyota. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you all to please rise. If you're out in the parking lot, concourse area, pit area, we ask you to please stop where you're at and please remove your hats. Before we go any further on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, our invocation. We bring to the microphone Father Dale Gruba.
Let us pray. During his career, Joe Shear won more than 30 track and series titles. He was the driver to beat at Rockford, winning 8 national short track championships. Joe was the Art-Go champion in 1986 and 1989. And he won the Slinger Nationals in 1987, 1990, 1991, in 1993. And he claimed the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing at New Smyrna twice. Battling cancer, Joe left this world a champion. He won 4 of his last 5 races, and only a blown engine at the Oktoberfest kept him from making it 5 for 5. Lord, we thank you for the true champions you place in our lives. May Joe rest in peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. Please remain standing at this time and face the flag as we honor America on this Sunday afternoon. And the University of Wisconsin Marching Band performs our national anthem. Hand for the University of Wisconsin Marching Band on hand here today to perform our national anthem. From behind, our flyover making its way here, Rich Pember in a 1942 Stearman giving us the flyover here today. Give him a wave as he comes by from the north side, back behind a grandstand. Just about ready to go here on opening day at Mass International Speedway. Of course, we got the Midwest Tour Super Late models on hand. Midwest trucks here as well. Let's meet their fast timer. Young man driver, truck 10 out of Michigan, Michigan, with a lap of 18.901. How about it for Derek Meyer? Congratulations. Remind them, you're how old?
I'm 15 years old.
15 years old, man, and you had that truck wound up. Did you think you had enough in you for that fast lap? Heck, in the 18-second bracket.
Well, we're lucky to be there, but we've been practicing here for the past 2 weeks, and we got her done, I guess.
This is your second year in one of these trucks, too, and I know that you guys, you practice, you race, you do all that. How much have you learned from, say, day one to now behind the wheel of one of these trucks?
It's a night and day difference. I learned so much with my crew chief, Darren, and Toby, and all the crew, my dad, my brother, everyone.
How about racing all these good racers in this truck series? I mean, this is unbelievable, the competition you race, too, right? That makes you better.
Yeah, there's a stacked field, and it's nice to be there.
Hey, congratulations on fast time. Good luck out there today in a 36-lapper.
Thank you.
Derek Meyer, give him a big hand, your quick qualifier for the Midwest Truck Series. Move over here, maybe. The band is yielded. Get our quick qualifier. Here comes the car, the fastest car in town for the Joe Shear Classic. 17.294, almost a track record for driver car number 2 out of South Beloit, Illinois. About it for Michael Bilderback. How about that, man, in the 17.2s today?
Man, I didn't think we'd get that. I knew the car was good, but when we came in and they said a 2, I took about 20 minutes to catch my breath.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was ripping around here. And of course, you set the track record up there at Dell's, too. This is a nice piece, it seems.
Yeah, we didn't really know how many races we were going to run. Got the engine in the car about 3 days before the Dells, and then this race kind of ran good at the Dells, and let's come here. So to get two fast times with this stellar field, I'm ecstatic. I mean, now we just got to finish. We had a little tough luck and driver errors at the Dells, so I've been beating in my head to stay calm, and you got to be there at the end.
All right, now I'm not going to talk to you after you roll this thing. How's your dice rolling arm? Mike's going to roll the dice. 9 plus whatever on the specially crafted Western Wisconsin dice. 6 or 9, either way, it's the big invert. So deep in the field for 200 laps. What you thinking, man?
Yeah, like I said, we got to be there, keep the fenders on it, keep the bumper on it. That's what we knocked off at the Dells. So we put a steel one on it, so maybe it'll take a little more beating. But no, I think we practiced all day yesterday on older tires and really had good speed and comfortable. So just keep me behind the wheel, and hopefully we can be up there battle for the win.
Congrats on fast time. Good luck out there today.
Thank you. Thank for all the crew guys, all these fans. This is awesome to see. So hopefully it's a good race.
Michael Bilderback, your quick qualifier for the Midwest Tour Super Late Models. Hey, go take the photograph with the dice. Mike really doesn't want to take a picture with the 6, but he will. Pomp and circumstance, all the photography will be taken care of. We'll get the drivers in their vehicles and get ready to go. Full day of racing coming up. We got Truck Series preliminaries on the way, 3 of those. Midwest Tour Series last chance positioning race on the way too, and then feature races. 36 laps for the Midwest Trucks, 200 laps for the Super Late Models, all coming at you momentarily.
Opening ceremonies are in the books. Fast qualifier. Truck Series fast qualifier for the ASA Midwest Tour. That's Michael Bilderback having his picture taken with that fancy die. He rolled the worst number that he could on that die. We're going to add the 6 to a predetermined 9. So Michael Bilderback will start from the 15th position. And Riley Stenjum and Levon Vandergeest, when we go to the 200, will start from the front row.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. And we talked about the inversion. So the 9 fastest qualifiers knew they're going to be inverted completely. But then we added the dice roll to add 6 more. So that means he's way back in the 7th row. The 8th row inside, excuse me. And on the pole will be Riley Stenjum and Levon Vandergeest. This is the trophy. This is it. That clock is going to be forever known as the Joe Shear Classic trophy. That race car, may he rest in peace, the Nielsen Enterprises name across the hood, recently passed Freddie Nielsen, was very much a great success with Joe Shear, connected as Nielsen Shear Racing, and Joe's name fittingly is on the Wall of Fame here at Madison.
And I learned a little something from watching that video on the ASA Midwest Tour Facebook page that Mark Martin talked to Freddie Nielsen about driving his cars, and they said they had a very serious talk for quite a number of hours. And it obviously did not come to fruition because Mark Martin never drove for Freddie, but those were always some fast cars and some beautiful machines that Joe Shear would put together under the guidance and tutelage of Freddie Nielsen. And it really didn't matter. Freddie goes back to the old modified days, the open-wheel modified days in southeastern Wisconsin, whether it was Whitey Harris driving it or Johnny Reimer driving those modifieds, goes into the late models, has Joe Shear piloting his machines. Those things always were meticulous and beautiful.
Yeah, and Jerry Gunderman, I think, was the next chapter of that. He was an owner, not a driver. He was an owner that really wanted to have a nice equipment, had the funding to make sure it was good, had some employees that were not just there as a volunteer, but they had them in the shop working on their cars. And Joe Shear did so much of the work himself. But, man, the dedicated crew that Joe had and Freddie Nielsen allowing those opportunities, it really became, when late models were Freddie's next generation, he actually had Dave Watson as his first driver doing that.
Midwest Trucks are up next. We're going to have heat race action for them. You see them lined up there in the staging area. Opening ceremonies are in the books. We're going to step aside for just a moment. Stay with us on Track TV. We will be right back at Madison International Speedway.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can go Here, surf's up. Here, woo! And here.
Right now, lease a new 2025 Tacoma SR5 for $309 a month, or get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra.
Your summer starts here and just keeps on going.
Toyota, let's go places.
The hills of North Carolina are about to shake. The Appalachian Sucker Punch ASA Stars National Tour returns to Hickory Motor Speedway for the Ross & Whitmer 255. Thursday, May 22nd, the nation's best super late model drivers go head-to-head in one of this year's biggest short track battles. The NX Legends are back with a national qualifier you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now at starsnationaltour.com and be part of the action-packed night at the legendary Hickory Motor Speedway. Don't miss the Ross & Whitmer 255, Thursday, May 22nd.
Welcome back to Madison International Speedway. Our track TV coverage presented by Toyota. Warming up the Midwest Truck Series for their first heat race. Again, qualifying concluded. This is our first heat race. Derek Meyer was the fastest qualifier, and these trucks were going to be scoring points. They know they're in the show, but they're going to score points for their heat race finishes, and that does matter. As Brandon Reichenberger, the defending champion of the series, knew those points mattered. It came down to a very slim margin once again last year and the year prior to determine the champion in the series. That dots across the upper Midwest from Iowa to Illinois, majority in Wisconsin. Raced 3 times at Dells Raceway Park, a couple times here at Madison as well. Good to see the trucks now aligning in formation for this first heat race for the Midwest Truck Series. Their website is MidwestTruckSeries.com.
The QA1 heat races. QA1 back in 2025 for the Midwest Truck Series Heat Race Challenge. Heat race winners will receive a $25 product certificate bonus at each event where heat races are used. Keep track of those point systems as the year goes along. So we thank QA1, Midwest Truck Series does for helping out as we're getting ready to go to green for the first heat race for the Midwest Truck Series. Scott Shiselski and Brent Strelka lead us down to green and into corner number 1. Brent Strelka is going to get the outside run in that black number 52. Take over the top spot.
Brent's raced at Wausau State Park Speedway, now closed. He's also raced a bunch in the super late models across the upper Midwest and full-time now in the Midwest Truck Series in 2025.
And we've seen, that's a theme, Jim, that kind of carries on. We've seen drivers. Kyle Reffner is another one who has done some super late model racing for a number of years. Switching over to the Midwest Truck Series here in 2025. Brent Strelka is about a 2-truck length lead.
Chris Blowett, Cody Hubert come to mind as guys that raced a bunch in supers and came back to the Midwest Truck Series to race full-time. Nine laps remain in this one. Scott is out front. That made that effect. Brent Strelka is now just taking lead away in the 52. Pair of 52s in this one. The other black 52 driven by Nick Rail.
Shiselski has closed in on the rear tailgate of our race leader. So those two, the 52 of Strelka and Shiselski's 21, they started on the front row. And Brent Strelka got away early, but Shiselski's kind of been reeling him back in, especially going down into the corner there. Gets a great run, and they'll be joined by Daniel Bain in the 28.
Side banger here. Rail on the outside that black number 8 truck. Brent Kirchner trying to get away from him.
Brent Kirchner is another one who's done some super late model racing at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway and with the ASA Midwest Tour over the years.
Jerry Wood in the red and white, number 73, a veteran of super late model racing. That's how I first met Jerry. He was racing super lates for 30 years.
Parker Kane to the inside there in that 44 truck. Good battle. Mid-pack, back up front. Brent Strelka continues to lead, but look at the 21 just closes in going into the corner, but he can't get a good run off the corner.
If you're looking at the noses of these trucks, very distinct. They actually got some development done by 5-star race car bodies to develop some new noses for this truck series. We talked about the origins of it right here at Madison International Speedway back in 1994. I see some Dodge Ram noses. I see some Ford F-150 noses. And I see the nose of the red number 2 to the door of the number 73, Jerry Wood.
Wyatt Crace in that red number 2. Unable to take the position. This massive crowd here at Madison International Speedway just getting a taste of the great racing action that has yet to come. If you're joining us on Track TV, you didn't miss much. You missed a great qualifying session. And this is our first green flag action of the afternoon, Midwest Truck Series. This is the battle for the lead.
Struck on the outside, washed up a little bit here. Closing is Danielle Bain. She looks really good in that teal, blue, and black number 28.
2 laps to go. Boy, making a 4-truck battle for the lead. That right there off of corner number 2, Jim, we're going to see that all afternoon. Get a good run off the corner on the bottom of turn number 2, and that's the best place to pass somebody. And we saw Scott Szyselski make that move right there. Strelka battles back as we take the white flag.
Szyselski had the lead that time by scoring now updates as it happens on our Midwest Truck Series and Midwest Tour ticker on the left-hand side of the screen. To the finish. Here we go. Who's going to win this one? Brent Strelka. Wow. Great charge off of turn 4 on the outside.
And then we had a 3-truck battle for the 3rd spot. Give 3rd to Kevin Kniese. We didn't talk much about Kevin.
Snuck in there. He said there was a 4-truck race, but I'm like, I don't know if he's going to catch him in time. And sure enough, Kevin did it.
Brent Strelka picks up the win. QA1 heat race number 1 for the Midwest Truck Series. Again, so good to have you with us here on Track TV. Madison International Speedway, the opener for Madison International Speedway here in 2025, and the opener for the ASA Midwest Tour. These trucks were in action a couple weeks ago at Dells Raceway Park.
Yeah.
For the icebreaker. Yep. Jerry Aubie and the crew had a really good show up there a couple weeks ago. Weather cooperated. Weather's cooperating here today for Greg and Angie McCarns.
Yeah, we are very fortunate. Matter of fact, the drivers that qualified top 20 in the ASA Midwest Tour are literally got out of their cars and walked up to the fan stands and did an autograph session that's just winding down. So that's how cool it is to be part of this. Not only was Mark Martin signing autographs for 2 hours this morning into the afternoon as the Grand Marshal, the top 20 in time were also asked to participate in an autograph session for the fans up here in the Turn 4 Pavilion. Really cool that took place as well.
So this is our drone shot. The drone right now is placed high above the pit area.
Yep.
So the trucks and the race cars come on and off the track in turn number 2 there. Now when we get to the 200, Jim, if you come to the pit area, your day is done.
Yeah. So
all of the pit work will be done in the infield. If you come off the track, day's done.
Yep. In front of the fans in the stands, we're going to see the pit stops take place over the 200-lap race this afternoon. Say Midwest Truck Series, a great turnout again. Their next heat race, the 3rd heat race, is already forming on that pit lane area. Mike Sargent doing a great job. Great job, Sargent, with the drone once again. We get to see a lot here on Track TV.
I've got to learn how to drive a drone.
I could not do it this good, so this is making you think you could do it. I don't think I can. Mike Sargent's really good at doing
I didn't say I'd be any good at it.
Yeah.
But I think, wouldn't it be cool to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go like certified and stuff.
Yes.
Not just pick one up off the hobby store. Grocery store aisles. Who knows what they sell these days?
Midwest Truck Series. Look them up on Facebook, Instagram, and give them a like. Midwest Truck Series doing a great job here in 2025. As we said, this is their 2nd event of the season. 2nd heat rolls trackside. Robbie Rux in 5.
Yeah, he won a championship last year at Jefferson Speedway in the street stocks. He's going full-time in the Truck Series this year. We had him on our Racing Roundup show already this year. He's pretty fired up to go trucking here. And then his outside is number 24 of Nicholas Van, who I believe was the 14th fastest qualifier. So
yes.
These trucks should be flying. James Lynch, also a multi-time winner in the number 76. We saw him here last year in the Joe Shear Classic. That's the family truck team. He and his brother and his dad are the team in that number 76 effort out of Illinois.
Who's in that 31 truck, Jim?
The 31L returning to his home track, Jason Schuler of Cambridge, Wisconsin, in the Hogan Farms 31.
Just a couple of warm-up laps. Grant Griesbach in that white number 60, the winner of the first Truck Series race in 2025 at Delta Raceway Park.
Jeff Holtz, who was in a championship run all season long last year in that white on top of black 38 with the chrome numbers on the door.
The 140, that black number 140, Aaron Moyer. Eugene Gregorich Jr. in the number 1 truck. A driver you're going to want to keep your eye on here. One of the top runners in the Midwest Truck Series. Again, just a couple of warm-up laps here for the truckers.
And Moyer and Gregorich were 2 of the fastest 5 trucks in those group qualifying sessions earlier today. They're fast everywhere, but I'm just saying that I'm wondering how much they're going to push it here in the heat race. It's a great test and tune for them as well to try something a little bit different before feature time.
Yeah, the Bullseye Joe Shear Classic 36 will be the first feature event of the afternoon for these trucks. 36 laps. So this heat race, to your point, not only are they going to get championship points for a season-long title, they're going to get an opportunity to kind of test and tune. If you're going to try something, try it now, right?
Yeah, and it really gives the fans a chance to see these guys and gals as well with the opportunity that the Artco Challenge Series had many years ago by running heat races, odd and even. That may not happen today with this 200-lap race, but you'll see that at other tracks that the ASA Midwest Tour runs to keep that tradition going forward. But it's good to see these heat races really kind of get these drivers settled in and the fans more awareness of who's in these races with a few less trucks on the racetrack. And here we go.
Robbie Rux and Nicholas Van lead us down to green. Jim, what do you think of when you look at that number 5?
Speed racer.
Yes. I love that.
The Mach 5.
The Mach 5. Robbie Rux doing a great job, doing a lot of racing in a very young career as Nicholas Van gets it sideways off of 4.
Hang on.
He does a great job of hanging on to it, but that'll give the advantage to Robbie Rux and stack up the field behind Nicholas Van. James Lynch to the inside, battle for second.
Nowhere to go in that outside second row run, if you will, is the 31L of Jason Schuler. Racing in the number and the colors of a young man who passed away from a battle with cancer last year. Very close to the family, Alex Lee, and the number 31L. That's his paint scheme when he ran Hobby Stocks, and that's Jason's tribute to him. Racing here for the first time in about a decade in the Midwest Truck Series.
Oh, that 24, he has got his hands full. Sideways off of turn number 4, I think every lap so far in this heat race. How he's able to hang on to it, Nicholas Van, is just beyond me, but they're in 2x2 formation behind the race leader, Robbie Rux, who gets away. Here we go.
Lynch washed up in the 24 truck. We talked about it being loose, but I think he was holding his line, and Lynch just poured it into turn 3 a bit too hot. Got into the side and spun him out, and that's our first caution of the afternoon. We'll call it a Sunoco caution flag here at Madison.
Nicholas Van is going to be able to right the number 24 truck and back underway. He'll drop in at the tail end of the field, but that was in heat race action. When everybody is in the feature, that's something that you don't want to see.
No, and I think it was a matter of, I think Lynch, I like James, I like Nicholas Van did a nice job. And here's a replay here. Watch the black 76 truck on the inside. The 24 truck with that brightly colored side there. It just got kicked in the left rear tire by the right rear of the 76 truck.
And, you know,
James came up the track a little bit.
James Lynch quite possibly could have been, his patience could have been tested a little bit. They ran side by side by side by side.
He got, I think the left front almost got to the flat of the apron for James Lynch, and that upset the truck just a little bit. Just that flat corner entry in turn 3. It wasn't an arcing one. He got a little low and shallow, and that sent him up the hill. So Lynch will also be sent to the tail of the field for being involved in the caution. Nicholas Van right now is rolling with the other trucks in the top 5. So for the first time here this weekend, we see what is called the tap out rule. If you're not familiar with that, James Lynch rolled to the start finish line, literally tapped his hand on the roof of his number 76 truck and said, "That was on me, guys. I'll go to the back, give him his spot back," and Nicholas Van will get his running position back here on this restart.
And James Lynch will fall to the tail end of the field, and we're going to, well, we may. We have the possibility of seeing the tap-out rule in the 200-lapper, the Joe Shear Classic presented by Toyota. And the ASA Midwest Tour had never used the tap-out rule, and now it's initiated here in 2025 on a quote-unquote trial basis. So it's a rule that many tracks have adopted around the upper Midwest, and now the ASA Midwest Tour is also going to give it a try.
Back to green flag action. Robbie Rux about ready to hit the button on the steering wheel to put out the tacks or maybe the big heavy smoke at the back of that number 5, the Mach 5.
How about the spring?
Oh, yeah. That was cool. You want to make the sound effect?
The underwater? We could go underwater?
Yeah.
Did you, okay. I know I used to race home from school because at 3:30 in the afternoon, Speed Racer was on TV.
Right after Felix the Cat. Yes, sir. I was there with you. Different houses, same progress. Run home and see it.
Nicholas Van holds down the second position. Jeff Holtz was knocking at the tailgate of that 24 machine, but then Holtz got a little bit sideways and his progress was thwarted. There is the 60 of Grant Griesbach, winner a couple of weeks ago in Truck Series action at Dells Raceway Park, trying to get around Jason Schuler.
Aaron Moyer in the 140, hanging out in the 5th position. Singled out a little bit here for the time being.
Oh, here we go. Holtz talked about it before, Jim. Coming off at turn number 2, you have to put the left sides right down, almost in the grass. And then you can get a good run off of corner number 2 like Holtz is there. And got up next to Nicholas Van, but can't make the pass complete as we have 2 to go.
Outside lane is holding nicely for Nicholas Van, who was out there when he got touched by James Lynch. Not touching a whole lot other than the lead here has been Robbie Ruck since the outset. Coming down now the white flag. One lap left in this heat race.
Robbie Ruck's, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Legends Direct Rookie of the Year contenders. Great way to start his 2025 campaign. Midwest Truck Series has Legends Direct on board for their Rookie of the Year sponsor as Robbie Rucks will see the checkered flag.
The winner's decided. The race for second is right here, right now. Nicholas Van edging out Jeff Holtz for that position. Jason Schuler ends up in the 4th position. Grant Griesbach, Aaron Moyer. See the rest of the trucks on your scoring rundown in the upper left of our Track TV screens.
Has Hogan Farms on the side of that number 5 truck. You talked about it, the Hogans. Man, oh man, do they support short track racing here.
Yeah, and this is their home track. Yep. This is their home turf, literally. The farm is right down the road here, and it's great to see that family, the generations of the family, just enjoy it so much. We're just happy to have them as well, as deeply involved they are with a number of vehicles here in both divisions.
So QA1 heat race number 2 for the Midwest Truck Series is in the books. Looks like we have one more stage up there in the pit area. It'll be the 3rd and final heat race, 10-lap affair for the Midwest Truck Series. If you're just joining us on Track TV, thank you much. TrackTV.com, your home for everything that is the ASA Midwest Tour. But there's more than just the ASA Midwest Tour on TrackTV.com.
Yeah, the ASA Southern Super Series races on TrackTV.com, as does the ASA CRA Super Series. We have Big 8 racing. And like we like to say, when it comes to Midwest Tour racing, what do you see at the racetrack when they race with other divisions? You also see that. Midwest Truck Series last year, 6 races were on Track TV as part of the program.
And here is our upcoming schedule from Track TV. Saturday, May 10th, that's this coming Saturday. CRA Jegs All-Star Tour will be at Anderson Speedway. That Indiana Bull Ring.
Love it. Love it.
Love it.
Home of the Anderson 400, home of the Little 500.
Owasso Speedway. What a show palace that is.
Completely paved with concrete infield, brand new grandstands going up, a lot of improvements there. Rod and the team, man, they are doing great things there. Saturday, May 17th, you want to be there in person. If you can't, you can watch the Humane Society 100 right here on Track TV.
Then we've got a busy Memorial Day weekend. ASA Stars National Tour will be at Hickory. I know you'll be there.
Yep.
May 23rd, a Friday night, here at Madison International Speedway. We'll have the Big 8 Series. We're going to head up the road on Saturday, May 24th for the Salute the Troops 100 for this ASA Midwest Tour. Stars National Tour that same night. Newport Speedway, that's new on the schedule.
Yeah, the Stars are racing Friday night at Hickory for the 3rd straight year, but the new addition is Newport Speedway on the same weekend. It's about 162 miles between racetracks, and that's going to be fun to call on Saturday, May 24th.
Owasso Speedway on May 26th, May 29th, Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. So to our point, a lot of different divisions, a lot of great late model racing, super late model racing available here, tracktv.com.
And that Battle of Broadway will be a real good tune-up to see what the ASA Stars field will look like when it comes to the championship decided in November at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in the All-American 400. I get to call that one, too. Pretty cool to be in my spot talking about all these great races with you, Dean.
It's certainly a lot of fun, and I'm very grateful for the opportunities that we have here on Track TV. And race fans, I hope you're taking it all in, because we can't do this if you're not helping us by spreading the word on social, telling your racing friends and family how great this value is that you're getting from your own sofa, your own patio there on Track TV.
Or when you have to spend those hours in the garage with that flat screen. Yep. You know, it's got to be on something, right? Getting all that work done.
This is the third heat race for the Midwest Truck Series. We have the 28 truck of Tom Steinbach and the 22 James Swan, 6-time series champion Swanee in the Truck Series. Had problems on his number 97. Hops behind the wheel of Russ Blakely's 22 machine. Gives it a good run in qualifying. So Swanee is in that 22 truck. Clay Kurtz, the Chicagoland standout, in the 23. Colin Refner in the 31. That black and green 93 is Chester Ace. Tyler Noble in the number 7. And then Brandon Reichenberger in the 3, your reigning series champion. And that white number 10, your fast qualifier, Derek Meyer. Jim, we're coming to green.
Meyer in the trunk. We're going green with Steinbach and Swan to lead us to the green flag, and we're underway in turn number 1 of heat race number 3.
James Swan gets a great run on the outside. This Russ Blakely truck, Russ is having fun with this truck. Jeff Storm hopped in it at Oktoberfest. Now James Swan is hopping in it here at the Joe Shear Classic.
And Russ got to race it and wreck it at Dell's Raceway Park, and he took it home to Kentucky and spent all that time working on it. Brought it back here. Didn't even have numbers on the side of it yesterday.
Hands the keys over to Swan.
Yep. Great camaraderie, great idea, because Russ really did a lot of work on that truck in between everything else going on with instituting and starting up Benson Valley Bourbon.
And suffering through a flood in Frankfort, Kentucky.
Yeah, his son owns a trucking company. They have had a couple of big-time repair bills on transmissions and engines in those trucks. So it's been a month to forget for Russ Blakely, but great to see that he's got Swanee out there by about 10 truck lengths already in this heat race leading the field.
My goodness. Swanee has opened up an advantage. Looks like the 28 truck of Tom Steinbach caught down on the inside and loses several positions as Chester Ace pulls up alongside the 31 machine. Colin Refner in the battle for second.
Chester is flying through this field. He does not care if it's a heat race. He wants to win everything. Whoa. This is his home track. He actually works in this municipality, does Chester, right here in McFarland.
Smoke out of the back of the 23 going down into corner number 1. Clay Kurtz. I don't know if that was just locked him up going down into corner number 1, because no more smoke from behind the tailgate of the 23 machine.
And this track is really hard on brakes. As wide as it looks on our drone shot, thank you, Mike Sargent, it is a very punishing racetrack when it comes to brakes because the straightaways are so long.
It's Wisconsin's fastest half mile, which means we're going to be hard on brakes. It's been several years, over 30 years, I think, since it's been repaved. It's hard on tires. It's fast. And it's just 200 laps around here for the ASA Midwest Tour. It will be grueling on not only the driver, but the equipment.
And it's the first time they'll have a chance to race on those Hoosier tires. ST1 stars on the left, ST2 stars on the right. Those teams were figuring it out yesterday, and it's down to really points-paying opportunities with a $15,000 paycheck to go with the winner of the Joe Shear Classic presented by Toyota this afternoon yet to come.
When the pay window opens, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's back in the day when you, at the end of the night, you would go and as a driver and get paid.
Wait in the pay line.
Earnings. Wait in the pay line.
Getting the big check for winning this heat race. James Swan in the number 22 Benson Valley Bourbon machine for Russ Blakely. Chester Ace raced up to second. Colin Refner, Clay Kurtz, Tyler Noble, your top 5.
Creekwater. That's a band along the side of that number 22 machine. If you get a little closer, they have a QR code there. If you're at a Midwest Truck Series event, there's a QR code there, and you can scan that QR code, and it'll take you right to their music.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There it is on the back trunk there, right. On the back deck lid.
Freeze frame.
Did
they sing that song? I'm saying you should freeze the frame and get the QR code, Dean. You got it. You got it.
Midwest Truck Series heat action in the books. James Swan picks up the win. Yes, James Swan not in his familiar 97. Instead, in Russ Blakely's 22.
There's a 97 on the door.
Oh, yeah, sure enough. Look at that. There it is.
That
Swanee had problems yesterday. You'll be able to hear all about it and learn all about it because James on Facebook takes you on a daily tour of the garage to see what they have done and the progress that he's made.
I've interviewed him in his garage. There's a lot of race cars and not a lot of room.
It's a 2-car garage.
Yeah. Puts 4 cars in there, I think.
Uh-huh.
And trucks. So Swanee gets a flag in another vehicle. I was hoping that he actually, for many years, had about a 10-inch metal statue of a swan that he would bolt to the top of the roof, right above the rearview mirror, if you will, in a passenger car. That's when you knew it was Swanee's truck. It was just coming at you. Like the black hood of the Intimidator. You saw that thing in your rearview mirror, like, oh, that's Swan.
Ooh, speaking of trucks, look at that Toyota.
Is that one of those TRD Pros? Looks really nice.
That is sharp, I'll tell you. Yep, this is the Joe Shear Classic 200 presented by Toyota. And Toyota represented here, and that is a beautiful... Oh, that's a Sequoia.
Several dealers in the area getting involved. Great to see East Madison Toyota is part of the program and presenting today's races and race coverage on Track TV. This is the position race. I believe this is the position race for 21st on back from qualifying.
Took the top 20 in qualifying and locked them into the Joe Shear Classic 200 presented by Toyota. Everybody that had a super late model here this weekend will be in the Joe Shear Classic 200. These are the drivers that did not qualify automatically. Going to warm them up. Give them an opportunity to find out where they're going to take the green flag at.
And the big thing is, say Max Kaler does win this race, he'll start 21st. If he finishes 5th in this race, he can start 26th. So it's important that he gets a good run here from the pole. These drivers were allowed to put on practice tires. They don't have to race with their allotted 6 tires for the entire event. They qualifying on the 4 Hoovers and 2 laying in the pits for the 200 Vapor. These teams are allowed to use other tires to race in this qualifying position race.
Jim, we talked about the different people that are watching.
Yeah.
Around the United States here. We've gone international.
Really?
South Africa.
Wow.
Hello, Drew and Beth.
Wow.
Watching the Midwest Truck Series from South Africa.
Sending us information.
Yes.
Via the internet.
Yes.
What'd they send you? A picture, a recipe? What'd they send you?
They sent a picture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Watching on the computer. Looks like their hotel room. Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy the coverage. And thanks for tuning in.
They're there for a wedding. Hope everything went well or is going well. I couldn't tell you what time zone they're in.
Right.
I don't know. Time to go racing in the qualifying position race. Max Kaler on the front row. On the outside is Brent Edmonds. Number 15 in his super late debut. Will Reese in the black and white number 15. And here we go with Billy Moan outside row 2.
Max Kaler, little surprised that he didn't crack the top 20 in qualifying. That 17 machine.
He was 3.315 seconds off of pole speed, and that's 21st in time. That's why he's got to run this one.
And
Crazy differences.
He'll slot into the second position behind the 87 of Brent Edmond. Whoa, we got a spinner. Joe Valento goes around up in turn number 4. Valento in that 30 machine, the Friends of Jacqueline entry, ran the entire ASA Midwest Tour in 2024. Plans to do that again here in 2025 under the tutelage of crew chief Travis Dassow. Has Bud Riedner calling the shots as a spotter here this weekend in past races. Andy Oh, what the?
Just doing the tire weave there. I think Ridge Owen did not know the 31 was on his outside.
Oh, boy. There's some significant contact there.
So Valento just trying to get his car figured going to the tail here on the restart. Rode next to Ridge Owen at the wrong time.
Jeepers.
So the 20-year-old out of Minnesota, well, this is how he just kind of rolled up here, and Ridge Owen looked like he was just going to do some sort of tire weaving to get some heat in the tires, it looked like. Not a whole lot of points being paid on this race. Just interesting to see the wear there. Hope nothing got bent on Valento's car. He's got to race 200 laps yet to come here. choose cone is out, meaning these teams and drivers can choose their inside or outside lane for the restart. Brent Edmonds chose the outside. See how that plays for him. Each and every restart for the Midwest Tour will have the choose cone available to anyone who's able to respond in time to get a chance to choose when the cone is out. So if teams continue to work on the pits, for example, when the choose cone is out, they won't have a chance to choose. But when it's out there, everybody has a shot at choosing their inside or outside restart lane. Edmonds with the early jump, 1 lap officially completed here.
I started to say, until we had that caution, Brent Edmonds in that 87 machine, the leader of this last chance positioning race, he drove to a 3rd place finish last year, Jim, in this Joe Shear Classic 200. Small family team, older Toby car, former Ty Majeski car, a couple of generations removed. But that 87 machine, he just played pit stop or strategy perfectly in this 200 lapper last year, and just drove the wheels off that 87 up to a 3rd place finish.
And you gotta have the speed.
Yeah.
This track, you cannot be lacking any speed when it comes to racing in the Midwest Tour at Madison International Speedway.
Green flag is back out. Starter Tom White. And just like on the initial start, the 87 of Edmonds will get the advantage heading up the back straightaway. Max Kaler in that 17 added a splash of red on the side of that 17 here for 2025. I like red race car.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever told you that before.
No, you haven't. I know what color hair you like in a female. I know that you're a blonde. You're a sucker for blonde-haired women. I know that much.
You speak truth, James.
Brent Edmonds on the outside. Try to get that outside working. Getting back on task here. Holding the lane over Max Kaler on the outside here.
I didn't get a chance to check in with Max this morning. I don't know if he's coming up on graduation or if he's coming up on the end of his junior year.
It's got to be close.
Yeah. Northern
college.
Illinois.
Yep. What a great run he had at the Jim Sutter Classic last year. Just had him figured out. A track that he won a Super Late Model Championship the year prior. Was on kill from day one, and it's great to see Brent Edmonds racing him here hard, and just hard enough here in this heat race to get people excited about what's to be. Two wide racing here in the Joe Shear Classic 200.
Let's talk about the top lane here in this 2-lane racing, 2 wide racing. Greg McCarnes, track owner here at Madison International Speedway, laid down some compound on the outside lane to try to promote that 2-lane racing. You can see it in the second groove. The second groove is just a tick darker than the inside lane. Brent Edmonds was testing out that sticky stuff on the top lane and had to go a little sideways on him there, exiting turn number 4. Edmonds loses the lead with 5 to go. It's battle for third. Billy Moan has it. Will Reese in that 15 machine making his super late model debut, and as I say that, Will Reese off the pace up the back straightaway.
Our Matt Body talked to Will about racing here and racing the very first super late model race, and if something's not right, this is the time to find it in this positioning race. He knows that to race 200 laps, that car's got to be good. So if there's something a little bit off, or they tried something, it's not working now. No chance to risk it. No reason to race for one position if you're that far back.
We have another Facebook poll, James.
Ready.
Which young driver, I'm not quite sure what young means, if it's under 21, but young, which young driver is going to finish the highest in today's Joe Shear Classic 200? Again, go to our Facebook page, Track TV, Midwest Tour. Bryce Miller, Joe Valento, Ty Fredrickson, and Cody King. Those are your choices.
All good choices.
They're all excellent choices.
Make your vote count on Facebook right now.
White's out. Coming to the checkered flag, Max Kaler in that number 17 machine. Looks like Kaler will be victorious, and he will roll off 21st when we drop the green flag a little bit later on this afternoon for the Joe Shear Classic presented by Toyota.
Mission accomplished there. Starting 22nd will be the number 87 of Brent Edmonds. 23rd will be Billy Moan in the number 8. Bryce Miller start 24th in his first run as an ASA Midwest Tour Rookie of the Year contender.
We want to thank you for joining us on Track TV. Midwest Truck Series heat races are in the books. The last chance positioning race for the ASA Midwest Tour in the books. We're going to step aside for just a moment, but don't go far. We'll be right back at you momentarily here on TrackTV.com.
Nortec Equipment are committed to helping you empower your landscape projects with our line of soil processors for tractors, skid steers, and mini skids. Based out of Wausau, Wisconsin, Nortec Equipment products are proudly made in the USA. Our products deliver expertly engineered equipment at competitive prices that are tailored to meet the diverse needs of the turf, landscape, construction, and agricultural industry. Give us a call today at 715-393-4458. Nortec Equipment are proud sponsors of Frederickson Racing.
They said I wouldn't make it without a college degree.
They said only a man could be a roofing executive.
They said a former addict always relapses.
They said my amputation would keep me out of roofing.
They said never give an ex-convict a second chance.
They said I could never be a leader.
They said I couldn't support my family as a single mom.
At Rackley, we say they're wrong.
Want to change the world? Change it. One roof at a time.
We're the leader in race fuels. We've been doing this since in the 60s. We use our distillation tower, which is unique. No other race fuel companies do that in the world. We also test every single batch that goes out the door on over 15 different parameters that ensure the tune-up will be identical. That consistency in the marketplace that makes us a premium brand.
Make the same stuff every time. We're pretty darn close to perfect.
Welcome back to our coverage here of the Madison International Speedway season opener for the ASA Midwest Tour. Follow along all year long on the Midwest Tour on TrackTV.com. This is the back pit area where the Midwest Truck Series trucks are already turning around, literally getting their trucks ready to go racing in their feature event, the Bullseye Joe Shear Classic 36-lap race. We see Jerry Wood backing out. We see Jason Schuler backing out, moving their way. They'll be racing a bunch with us here in the ASA Midwest Tour. The 2025 schedule includes Madison International Speedway today. You can watch this race on demand as your leisure, but you also want to be in the stands on Saturday, May 24th of Memorial Day weekend at Jefferson Speedway. That's where we'll be headed for the Freedom 100. Norway Speedway back on the ASA Midwest Tour schedule on Saturday, June 21st in the UP. Looking forward to seeing that racetrack in the Iverson family. Hawkeye Downs, we're back on the schedule in Cedar Rapids, Iowa with Miller Brewing Company, Saturday, July 12th. Make that race make that matter. And we're back here. We're moving it up. The Howie Little Classic is now Friday, July 25th here at Madison International Speedway. It's a 100-lap race on Friday evening, July 25th. And then the big one. Matt Votty are joining me for another quick second here. Wisconsin International Raceway, the Gander Auto Group 250 on a Tuesday night in Kaukauna. That's also on the schedule.
That first Tuesday in August, kind of the gateway to the fall and our second half of the season for the ASA Midwest Tour competition. After WIR, they head to Grundy. We got rained out there the last 2 years, so it's still kind of a new one for the Midwest Tour to get back there for that one. Excited to get down there August 16th. Of course, the big Dells Raceway Park, the Jim Sauter Memorial, August 30th, that we saw rookie Max Kaler get his first win in last year. The Thunderstruck 93 getting back to Elko. with new owners this year. Excited to get up there.
Yeah, just announced this week. New owners with racers will continue racing at Elko Speedway in a big way. And we'll wrap up the season on Sunday, October 5th. It's a 5-day festival that will be covered on Track TV throughout in West Salem, Wisconsin, home of La Crosse Fairground Speedway and the one and only Oktoberfest. We have a lot of fans interested in what's going on here at Madison International Speedway. The track was repaved in 1992. It's got a long-standing history. Now let's check out our traction piece we got for you here on Track TV.
So one of the things we're going to have to watch out for today in this Joe Shear 200 is the second groove. Traditionally at Madison, this is a one-groove place. You want to feed the bottom right on that yellow line. But when they spray the top, and you heard Ty Majeski talk about this last year, like they have done today, it should make for two grooves. We've got Austin Nason here in the track tack right now. They just got done spraying it. What is that going to do to this place in this race this afternoon?
It throws a little curve here at the practice because it will work itself down, but hopefully by race time it's worked in. Usually it does work in pretty good, and usually you got two grooves, and sometimes, I mean, you can run the high side and actually get around some guys. So we'll have to see what it does. Sometimes it reacts different with the temperatures and wind and all that. So we'll have to see what it does at the end of 200.
Will you practice out there to get a feel for it, or will you just kind of migrate up there as the afternoon goes?
You just kind of migrate. You kind of got to wait till the races get going, and you have to be in the second groove. No one will really go up there during practice, so it does get a little slimy at the beginning. But like I said, once it gets worked in, it gets a lot better.
All right. That's Austin Nason's awesome track tack.
Great work there by Matt Body, and looking at how we shake out here, it's going to be fun to watch as Austin Nason has already won a Joe Shear Classic trophy amongst his handful of victories in the ASA Midwest Tour. The Midwest Truck Series is also going to roll out. They're going to race for the Bullseye Joe Shear Classic 36 trophy. And I'm telling you, man, it's one of a kind. It's a coveted trophy that you only get by winning the Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. Where's Machine in Bangor, Wisconsin has done another bang-up job on getting a trophy that is such a showpiece to showcase the deserving winner of today's race that they had for the last several years. Looking forward to seeing that trophy being awarded here in a little bit of time. We will remind you that this is a free live look and that's coming to a close. And we want to tell you that we look forward to seeing you on the other side on tracktv.com. We need to subscribe right now. I know we told you earlier it's a time to sign up and register to continue watching our coverage here at Madison today of both feature events. We need you to switch over now to tracktv.com. Subscribe today, whether it be for a month or for a year. TrackTV.com is where you'll see the remainder of our coverage here from Madison International Speedway. And this is the trophy they're all racing for. That Joe Shear Classic trophy is something. It's one of a kind. They only make one car a year. It's a different car each year for the Joe Shear Classic trophy. This one's presenting the black and red colors. That the red interior was what Joe is known for, and the black paint of the Freddie Nielsen Shear Racing Team presenting the trophy. And it's going to be really cool for somebody to win this one. And this is the trophy to be awarded as well in the Joe Shear Classic 36 for the Midwest Truck Series. We'll see on the other side who's going to win these. Join us.